Hey, aloha and welcome to Thoughtful Thursday. In this video, I'm actually going to settle the debate that's raged for about 4,000 years between two major philosophical groups, innatism and tabula rasa. And you need to know this, either one, to make sure that you have a very successful life. Hey, aloha, I'm Mark J, coming to you from our backyard here in beautiful Kauai, Hawaii. And we're going to be doing a series called The 7 Laws of the Mind so that you can have manifestation magic going for you. But we're going to talk in this video about the Golden Buddha, the legend of the Golden Buddha, which has opened up a whole world of dynamics for thousands of people that have been through our Master Key course. That's coming in September, and by the way, it's only $1, so there's no pitch coming at you here. You're going to love it. It's a 26-week course. And it all started with a little idea called the Golden Buddha. And of course, you're hearing from some farm animals out here on the golf course. But what you're really hearing is someone living in their dream, learned how to manifest. And it was really the Golden Buddha that opened all that up and settled that long, long debate. And we've come up with our own version of it that I know you're going to love. So what's the story of the Golden Buddha? That's probably what you're thinking. Well, make sure that you subscribe and hit the little bell so you can get all 7 laws of the mind as we publish them one at a time. Because, you know, the greatest mechanism on the planet is right here. And once you know about the Golden Buddha, you're going to understand something so incredible about your own mind. You're going to want to know how to use that mind. You see, here's the problem with the mind and in today's world. I'm willing to bet everything I have, my dream, everything I have, that you know more about your cell phone than the greatest mechanism on the planet. That was certainly true about me. And hopefully in this series, the Golden Buddha plus the 7 laws of the mind, you'll start to understand, like all of our students have, that basically they do have the greatest mechanism on the planet that can manifest virtually anything. Did you know that you literally have an Aladdin's lamp within you? And the reason the Aladdin's lamp and the fairy godmother and all those kinds of legends have lasted for thousands of years is simple. We do have an Aladdin's lamp, and it's our thought, our ability to control our thinking. So I want to turn back the clock to when I started to study Joseph Campbell and learned a little bit about this Golden Buddha and innatism versus tabula rasa. So here's how the story goes. There was this little village in Thailand many years ago, centuries ago. And they got word that the Burmese were going to invade. And so they didn't know what to do to hide all this stuff. They didn't really have anything of value except one huge sort of larger than life, Golden Buddha. And basically, that was the only thing of value. So one of the monks got this idea. We got carts going by and everything. One of these monks got this idea to cover the Golden Buddha in cement. So they gathered some cement and sticks and stones, and they put it over this Golden Buddha. Still looked like the Buddha. And sure enough, the caissons rolled in, and they saw this Buddha there that was just cement, and it wasn't worth looting. Of course, they didn't know it was solid gold all the way through, larger than life. And of course, they occupied the territory for decades. And eventually they left. And one day, a young monk was sitting outside, and he started to pray by this stone Buddha, this cement Buddha, and a little piece of
happened to crack off, and he saw something shiny. He realized there was gold under there, and they all came out and they realized he was telling the truth, and they took their picks and hammers, and eventually they unearthed the Golden Buddha.
The Golden Buddha. Now, what's the metaphor? Well, the metaphor here is that you're born golden. Listen to me. It's in my book, Standing Tall. and it goes back thousands of years. I'm not the first person to write about it. You were made first class by first class, and you're entitled to go first class as long as you do a first class job of being in service to other people as your authentic self. And here's the story of the Golden Buddha as the metaphor extends into daily life. You see, from ages 0 to 6 or 7, we're like this recording machine, and your subconscious mind makes all the decisions. And where does it get the programs that it runs on? You see, imagine getting a computer with no operating system. It wouldn't work. So when you were born, you didn't really have an operating system. And so the people around you who had been trained by the machine in the schools and the institutions, just like you were, said, this is what little boys do, this is what little girls do, this is what Asian kids do, this is what black kids do, this is what white kids do, and on and on and on, until eventually casing was formed.
And sure enough,
and we started to believe that we were this image, and we've been turned into approval seekers. And really simple thing is the school system. You can be anything you want to be. No limits, but you better behave like everybody else or you're going to live in a box under a bridge. And so we get conditioned to seek approval, and we go through life really reacting to life with what's known as our associative memory. What's the associative memory? Your perception of experiences that you have and your role performance is what you've been trained to believe is your value. When you make this much money, when you get the girl, when you get the guy, when you get the kids, when you get the family. And it's one thing after another that we've been conditioned to believe doesn't have anything to do with our imagination or our heart's desire. So we go through life, and then something happens. The loss of a job, our one love we find is shacking up with our best friend, a government change, a major injury. Could be a lot of different things. And all of a sudden, that all these belief systems we have that make us normal and healthy, and we don't realize how much we're trying to fit in. My wife hates quotey fingers, but anyway, that's her problem. Anyway, but so what happens is something happens, and what's really happening is all our belief systems collapse, and all of a sudden we start to discover who we really are. This golden child that was connected to all truth, all wisdom, all knowing. You knew everything the Buddha knew, the Christ knew, the Socrates played, all the illuminated minds. And then you got conditioned just like everybody else. I mean, let's face it, in the schools today, they're not teaching people to think, they're teaching them how to what? Pass tests. And we're wrecking this greatest mechanism on the planet. Instead of teaching people how to think, we're teaching them how to pass tests so the school gets accreditation. And I'm not picking on the schools. Well, I suppose I am in a way. So this is innatism, meaning that you're connected to all truth, all wisdom, and all you really need to do is listen to your heart. It's what the carpenter from Galilee taught. It's what the Buddha taught. It's what Muhammad taught. And the reality is, Buddha wasn't a Buddhist, Christ wasn't a Christian, and Muhammad wasn't a Muslim. They all had the same religion, love. You see, there's two fundamental emotions, love and fear. And all the good feelings that you think you have, at their very core is love. And all the negative things that we do, the self-destructive behavior and everything because of the programming, disappointment in ourselves, seeking approval without realizing it, that's all fear-based. Fear and love. And innatism means that you have that in you. You were made first class. You have a manifesting machine. You can manifest anything that's good for you, doesn't take anybody else's good, is derived through service. It's good for you, and it doesn't take anybody else's good. The universe will literally conspire. That's innatism. What's tabula rasa? Well, the other school of thought is you're just a blank slate when you get here. And all the programming makes you who you are. Well, certainly the Master Key Experience, books like Think and Grow Rich, Wallace Wattles' great trilogy, Science of Being Well, Rich, and Healthy, they all dispel that nonsense. So what's the real truth? Both. Every day's a blank slate. you're born connected to all this truth, all this wisdom. Your heart never lies. Okay, so how do you access this primal power of being, this ability to, how did we go from bankrupt to beachfront in a year? It was easy because we had the Master Key system, which is one of the ways to learn how to master your thinking. And there's 7 fundamental laws, and I'll say it again, I'm willing to bet everything I have that you know more about your cell phone and apps on your cell phone than you do about how this magnificent manifesting machine can work to your benefit. So, what I want you to do is leave me a comment down below. There are no common people. There's greatness in all of us. I've already done another video about that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, but most of all, leave me a comment. What's your feeling? Do you really believe that you can manifest on demand? Because we've learned how to do that. And it's a funny thing, once you do, what you really want shrinks down to almost nothing. All that really matters is the authentic connection to your fellow man who's no longer trapped in the cement and has released this golden child within. I'd love to meet yours. I'd love to know who you are. So do what a lot of our friends are doing here that have subscribed to this channel. Get involved in the dialogue down below. Let us know what you'd like to know about. And coming up is a short series where I'm going to go over the 7 laws of the mind. Don't you think it's a good idea to know how this mechanism works? Because most of us, really, when you get down to it, this thing is perfect. It was created by the master architect who does all things well. But if you're like me and you're like most people, you're a poor operator of that mechanism. I certainly was. And I became a master operator of that mechanism. So leave me a comment. I know I'm a little wound up right here, but I'm so excited for you to learn the 7 laws of the mind. So share this with people that you love, and we'll see you for the next Thoughtful Thursday. Hope it gave you something to think about. Don't forget to leave a comment. Peace out.